And people talk about we are savages.
Mr. Carmichael, if you had the chance to stand up in front of the white community and say anything you desire, say to them, understand me, white man, what would you say?
I would say, understand yourself, white man.
Jawel, en dan zijn we weer en dat betekent dat er alweer een uurtje erop zit van deze aflevering van de Moody Without music stream hier op War Stories Radio Live. Het enige station waar je liefde geeft en je liefde krijgt. En mocht je dat nog niet doorhebben, vandaag doen we dat richting Sean Gates, a.k.a. Israel, a.k.a. IC316, a.k.a. A Brand New Father. En dat betekent, want ik switch al naar Engels, dat betekent dat hij een nieuwe vader is, of tenminste, zijn zoon is zojuist geboren. En eerder vandaag, of tenminste vanaf 12 uur vannacht, is zijn gloednieuw project Melanin Sons uitgekomen. Dus het is een dubbelop feest. En zoals je misschien allemaal gemerkt hebt, qua stemgebruik of whatever, ik ben erg blij voor hem. Ik was heel even bang dat het verkeerd zou gaan qua niet opkomen dagen, dat er iets aan de hand was. Gelukkig was dit niet het geval en maakte ik me zorgen om niks. En in het eerste gedeelte van het gesprek hebben we een klein beetje het album doorspit. Nog niet uit elke track, maar een klein beetje het verhaal erachter. De rode lijn is voornamelijk het echte leven. Zijn album is heel relatable. En ja, ik denk dat het voor ieder wel wat wils is in de zin van waar je jezelf in kan herkennen. En daarom is het des te meer reden om het nummer, of tenminste het album snel af te gaan spelen. Het nummer bevat in totaal 10 tracks. Het is ook een album wat je rustig aan op de achtergrond kan zetten en je huiswerk of whatever kan gaan doen. Maar ik moet zeggen, content-wise is het ook zeker de moeite waard om te luisteren. Eat Better, Sleep Better is een van de tracks die we hebben geluisterd van dit project. Ook het laatste nummer, Black Man, is van het nieuwe project. Zometeen hebben we ook nog 2 andere tracks. En mocht je de eerste interview hebben meegemaakt, ook daar waren tracks van het huidige project op te horen. Eat Better, Sleep Better is een nummer, het zegt het al, titel zegt het al, wat zich meer richt op de mental health. Of tenminste, gezond leven. Want zeker vandaag de dag, wanneer we allemaal in quarantine zitten, niet zoveel bewegen, waaronder ik, dat zie je ook misschien aan mijn postuur. Denken we niet altijd aan onze gezondheid. Black Man is klinkt misschien qua titel voor een getinte jongen of een blanke man als ik niet relatable, maar ook daarin kan je jezelf herkennen, omdat het gaat om samenhorigheid, dat je elkaar dingen moet gunnen, minder afstands naar elkaar moet reageren en meer liefde moet tonen. En ook daarom is, tenminste dat is een goede reden om je daarmee relatable te voelen. Maar dat is dus een klein beetje de rode lijn van het project. Heb ik nog meer te vertellen? Want ik wil ook nog een switch maken naar Engels. Ik denk dat we gewoon een switch moeten maken. We hebben zometeen nog een tweede gedeelte van het gesprek. Wil jij nou ook een interview met mij, met Hoede LK op zaterdag, de Gorilla Show op zondag. We hebben nog MCilla op woensdag. En op donderdag Female MC's Radio. Wil je te gast zijn bij een van deze shows? Zorg dat je member wordt van de website www.wsradiolive.com/members. En doe je aanvraag. With that being said, let me do a quick switch over to English because this was already the first hour out of 2 of today's episode, in which we pretty much chopped down the majority of the project, which has a red line towards it of positivity, just like last week's episode with Vincent Rockefeller. Today we also got, a great artist with content within his music, and we also celebrating, besides his brand new project, the fact that his son, got. My English is gibberish when it comes to that because I don't normally talk English when it comes to pregnancies, etc. But his son just got born, so that's why we're celebrating that as well. That was what I was trying to say, but it didn't come out. Besides that, we also chopped down a couple of his songs of the project. Eat Better, Sleep Better, which is a song which reminds you to be more healthy. You can see it If you're looking to the visuals, that I am a bit chubby, and I think a lot of people are who aren't taking care of themselves the way they should do. So yeah, and the other songs we're gonna talk about in a bit because it's time to go back to the music, starting with some bangers from the Netherlands, and then we're gonna have the second part of the conversation. But yeah, stay tuned because today we're celebrating Israel, aka is 316, aka the brand new dad, with his brand new project came out on the same day. It's your boy IBJ, and I will talk to you in a bit. Bang.
We can't wait around hoping for a savior to come. It's strength in numbers. Our daughters counting on us.
En daar zijn we weer, man. Dat betekent dat het alweer bijna tijd is voor het tweede en laatste gedeelte van het gesprek met de gast van vandaag. Allereerst zal ik een snelle recap doen voordat ik overschakel naar Engels. Om hetzelfde te doen voordat ik onze gasten weer bij ga halen. Met dat gezegd hebben, laat me dat ook gelijk gaan doen. We begonnen het tweede uur met Boca 8 samen met Probleem. Gevolgd door Josilvio samen met Sam Chetan met Leugens. Daarna hadden we de gloednieuwe track van Rega. Shout-out naar jou. Het is alweer, ik denk, 10 jaar geleden, 2005, wat is het? 16 jaar geleden, bro. De tijd vliegt, man. Maar Want to Blend samen met jou was dope. Goede herinneringen aan. Je nieuwe track Wawalan is dope. Vervolgens hadden we MC Lost met Maak Money, Maak Stapper. Gevolgd door Seven Alias met Throwback. Daarna hadden we Merlaku Ra met Tankless. En toen was het alweer tijd voor de derde track van de avond, onze gast van vandaag, Rush to Grow Up. We hebben over een aantal minuten gaan we kijken waar de track over gaat. Ondanks dat het vrij duidelijk was voor mij. Het gaat over het opgroeien, etc. Maar voordat het zover is, ga ik eerst een snelle recap doen in Engels. Hoop ik jou zo meteen weer terug te zien voor de laatste twee tracks voor Onder Top Down van onze gast en De Wijk van Rano. Shout-out naar jou, ook een bekend gezicht voor mij. En daarna is het alweer tijd om onze aflevering van vandaag af te sluiten. Morgen is het tijd voor Hoe de LK Presents om 1 uur s'nachts. En de dag daarna is het tijd voor de Rilla Show, waarin we een interview hebben met Dante Thomas. En met dat gezegd hebben, ga ik de switch maken naar Engels. So, welcome back for almost the second part of the conversation with our guest. Before I'm gonna bring him back in, I'm gonna do the recap of the songs which we played and tell you when and where you have to tune in for the next upcoming days. But we started off the second hour with Boca 8 with Problem, followed by Yosilvio featuring Sam Chetan with Lies. Then we had the latest single by Rega, Where We Land, followed by MC Laws with Make Money, Make Steps. Then we had another banger from an Amsterdam artist who goes by the name of Seven Alias with Throwback. Then we had Merlaku Ra with Tangless. And last but not least, we had the third installment of the evening of today's guest with Rush to Grow Up. With that being said, I'm going to switch over scenes, bring in the claps like I should do. And yeah, bring our guest back in for the second part of the conversation. How you doing, fam?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm having a beautiful day.
I can imagine, man. Like I said a minute ago, you look way more relaxed or calmed down than you did 20 minutes ago. But it's only normal because, like you said, 1 minute after I started my show, everything went down for you. So it was a hectic and chaotic time. But like you said, you wanted to be here, so thank you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, how are you feeling now, man? Did everything settle a bit? Has it come to reality what is happening all around you now?
Man, he's a beautiful baby, man. I'm excited for him. Like, you know, sometimes they say truth is stranger than fiction. And like the funny thing is that his original due date, my son, I'm calling him Deuce, he's a junior. So shout out to Deuce. And,
Shout out to Deuce.
So his initial date was like at the end of the month. So I was like, you know what? I want to release the album in the middle of the month. That way I can have like the initial outpour of the album out of the way. But I guess he had his own plans. He's like, Dad, yo, the album ain't the only thing dropping today. I'm coming too.
He's probably thinking, am I still on time to do a feature on it? But yeah, man. In that
Nah,
case,
he's a
unfortunately, he
feature
is
on the
too
next
late.
album.
Yeah, that's already locked in. And after that, you will be working on his sophomore album, so everything is
Yeah,
already set in
yeah,
stone.
absolutely. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
before
This is my third solo project actually. It's just the biggest one.
again, stars align.
It
It,
man, it is. It's like it's so many coincidences. There's so many people that I met in the making of this album, and they're like, I'm talking to them about other people I know, and they're like, oh, okay, here, I'll hook you up with this person, like General Taylor. He's the one who introduced me to you. So shout out to General out
facts.
in New York. Man, he's a great guy. Uh,
He sure
obviously,
is.
he
He's
knows
part
great
of the team
music.
now. Did you know?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
He
Man, you
got
got a
his
good.
own female MC's radio segment on the station, man. We brought him in. It took us
Oh, that's
some
dope.
haggling, and yeah, man, we got him. We got him.
One,
Every
one thing I
every
like about
Thursday,
him,
7 p.m. It's his time.
see, he didn't tell me he's a humble cat. But one thing I like about him is like as a male artist, I can't stand like other male artists who try to exploit females. You know, you
Facts.
got the creepy guys who only want to give a female, studio time if he thinks he can hook up with her, and when she's not interested in him, then he doesn't want to help her artistically. And
Yeah,
so I
Dennis
bring
of
it
the
up
yeah.
because
That she's
General's the
difficult to
polar
work with.
opposite. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure she'd be difficult if didn't like you. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
General's
but
not like that. He really
that's mostly
gives a
the thing.
platform. Yeah,
Facts.
and
Strictly
so
for
I respect
females.
that. Yeah, I respect that. He gives him a platform. He's not being some creeper. I mean, he has some hot chicks on there, no doubt. But
Facts,
but
facts. He sent through a
how?
lot as well, and a lot of them were also nice to look at. Not only dope artists or female artists.
Yeah,
Well, skip the female part, but yeah, also nice to look at, man.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing about it to me is that like to me as an artist myself, when I listen, to me the females have become more lyrical than the guys are. The guys are
Facts,
mumbling, and the females is coming with bars, and I'm like, I love it.
facts.
I want to listen to that.
Yeah,
And
you can actually
it's
understand what they're saying.
yeah, and it hasn't been that way for me since like the Brat, and that lets you know how long the Brat Shauna
Telling your
that
age again.
era.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm a couple years later, but I'm still I know. Yeah, I will listen to that.
yeah.
Well, my parents did, so yeah, man, I'm familiar.
Okay, okay, yeah. And so shout out to all the female MCs. Shout out to General Taylor, man. Shout out to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Moody Without music, man. You guys been great for me, man. I love it. And
Thank you, fam.
after our last interview, man, it was like dope because I started seeing more people from the Netherlands hit me up and like add me. So I was like, man, that's really dope that people were listening. So shout out to all the people who tuned in last time and this time too, and learn something. And
Yeah, there
yeah,
are a quiet bunch because they don't often pop up in the chats, but I do see the statistics, so I know they're there. But I'm glad
okay,
they actually followed up and did what they had to do,
yeah,
which is follow you
yeah.
on the socials
Please,
and keep in touch
just
with you.
just Google IZ316 and all of my. I had a really dope album review written up by about me today that
Nice.
really made my day. You know, a lot of fans were hitting me up and telling me, what they thought about the album, which was surprising. I was like, I give it a couple of days or whatever, but like, no, today they're hitting me up. It's like, I like this song, I like this song, I like that song, and so, man, it's beautiful, man.
We were
It's
waiting
10
on it, man.
tracks, man, and that's why I didn't release it before. I think that it would be premature if I would have, just off the success of Top Down. And Top Down is like really the odd song out, if you will. Instrumentation wise, it goes with the rest of the album, but it was the only like radio really friendly type of
Yeah.
song,
Well, I see what you're saying. The rest is how do you say that?
like conscious
Let,
more.
yeah. straight
Yeah,
consciousness, and the other one
yeah,
also, but total also, but it's also has a summer vibe to it, which you
yeah.
can barbecue to, or in my case, smoke and drink to, just having a
Me
fun
too.
day,
In
and
all
yeah,
cases.
facts. And well, I don't know in what company you are right now, so I don't know if I'm keeping on a low
Okay.
for you, a low profile, you know. By the way, can I hit you with some random questions? Because I also got some.
Yeah, absolutely.
We still have to break down a couple songs of the album,
Okay.
but since it's
Okay.
the second time we do an interview, I wanna throw you under the bus with some random ass questions and just see what you think
With it.
about it. Again,
Okay.
these are random AF, so let's just kick.
I'm with
So first up, what's something terrifying that we all have come to accept as a fact of life?
it. They were all gonna die.
I was thinking the same thing. Okay, next one. What will be the possible scenario for how the world will develop in the next 25 years? And what do we need to do to get there?
I think that um it's gonna be the opposite of what everybody else thinks. I think we're moving into an epoch where people are gonna be more loving and more kind, and they're gonna be more personable, because while social media, it's like funny the duality of things, because social media has connected us more, but it has also disconnected us more. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? More than ever. So I actually think that over the next 25 years, man, it's going to be a renaissance of enlightenment of people who want to think on a higher level. I think that, you know, it's sad that we even have to do it, but we'll go more to organic, local based style of living, and not so much like corporate capitalism type of stuff that dictates our everyday life.
Okay. Well,
In
as a
25 years, I'll still
community,
be
it would
sexy as
be.
hell.
Sorry.
I said, and in 25 years, I'll still be sexy as hell. So there's that.
I'm glad I wasn't taking a sip this time and that I missed it while you said it.
I almost got you. I almost got you last time.
Well, the first time I always spit out my drink, man. I was like, always had to. But now, okay, next one. If you could be the CEO of any company, what would you choose, and what will be the first thing you would change or implement?
I actually, I actually am a CEO of a company. It's called Short Shuttle, and so what it is people go to
Okay.
my website, they book tickets, and then we take them to see their incarcerated loved ones. We take them directly to visitation and back, because it's important to stay connected. And so what my aim was is, I think that part of recidivism, or part of people going in and out of prison, is the
Hmm.
fact that they get disconnected from their loved ones once they get locked up. If you get locked up and you go in and your niece is 2, she's still your niece, but when you get out, she's 12. You don't have that connection with her. But if you
No, you don't
see
know
her
her anymore.
at least, yeah, if you see her randomly, at least, you know what I mean, or regularly, not randomly, regularly, through our services, it'll help you stay connected. And I think that, if you've been locked up for 10 years, you get out, you go back home to your family. Yes, you're a member of that family, but you have a decade worth of stories that are missing. And sometimes
True.
people feel disconnected, and the people who they have the connections with are the people who they were locked up with. So sometimes they end up going back. So
Yeah.
I would change, and that's important for the Black community. A lot of times we become marginalized, and we have, we only a small percentage of population, but such a high percentage of the prison population. So that's what I
Facts.
would change.
That's dope, man. I had a nice one which I think is suitable at this time. What is a good life?
Um, a good life is anything is the pursuit of whatever makes you happy. So waking up in the morning, drinking your beers and smoking make you feel happy, and you're not harming nobody else, and you're not harming yourself by neglecting your responsibilities, then you living a happy life.
Sounds like you've met Huda.
He says, "What's that?"
I said it sounds like you met Huda. Huda's the co-owner of the station. He's
Yeah,
probably in the
yeah.
chat, but he's just
Shout
sitting
out to
back.
him.
I'm not calling him a drunk. It's just a pun towards him because he knows. But next up, let me see. How would you change how you would act it if you knew that everything around you was simulated?
Um, wow, I never thought about that.
I told you, these are random. I told you.
I would I say I already know that it's a simulation. um,
So you wouldn't change anything?
nah, I'm an inquisitive person, so I'm gonna figure out how I can change it to my how I can either end it or change it to my benefit.
So you would be Neo from the Matrix, because that's what it is. Because that was a simulation world as well, right?
Yeah, I'm just like the darker, sexier, heavier
Again.
version of Neo. That's all. I'm telling you. They'll
Stop,
call me
fam. Stop.
they'll call me Neo plus one.
I'm not even gonna respond to it, man. We're just gonna let it fly. I didn't hear it.
instead of
Uh,
instead of the Matrix, it's gonna be the Watrix. The over Watrix.
hey, that's a project name, man. That's well the first one, the over no. Okay, last one. What's the most badass quote from a real person you know of? And it can be a quote from yourself if you wanna. Well, yeah. Most badass quote.
Man, my best friend, one time we were on campus and I can't remember exactly what happened, but he said sometimes things happen and sometimes they happen to happen to you. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Let me digest this for a second. So, what did he say?
Sometimes things happen to happen, and sometimes things happen to happen to you.
Okay, so pretty much it is what it is, and it can be for you or for someone else, right?
Yeah, and yeah, it just there's certain things that are out of your control. You can't let that drive you crazy. Sometimes things just happen, and it's just your turn. And yeah,
Yeah, I can live with it. Well, so far the random questions. I still got well, we still got 14 and a half minutes. Rush to grow up. Let's start with that. Well, no, sorry, forget that because we also listened to Black Man after our first part of the conversation.
yeah,
Black Man.
we can talk about both of them.
Yeah, we
Like
are, but
listener, let me talk to you. Is I start off by saying the marketing of the darker skin is designed to bring profits in. We don't want to set trends while corporations rake dollars in. Well, if you think about let's take the NBA for example, right? In the United States, average team has 10, 15 players on there, something like that. But the league is 80% black. Those black players generate billions of dollars for all these other corporations. Ticket sales, the coaches, merchandise, shoes, video games, all these different things, but we're not always the one to profit off of it. And so
true.
it's saying open up your mind and be more studious about the things that you're doing because in America it seems like it's like black culture is loved more than the black people. And that was the point that I was making. Is that we make so many contributions, whether it's through film, TV, sports, or whatever. You just got to be um, economically minded. That's part of it. And the other thing is, I want to. There's so many harmful images that we see of black people all the time, and it's not something that's talked about. I wanted them to think about what I was saying and recognize their own divinity. And I also
Mhm.
advocated again, eating better, drinking more water, getting plenty of sleep. I mean, these are all things that I'm saying. And I'm saying, you know, even if you find yourself in a worse situation, there's no situation in the world where God can't reach you at. And so even if
Facts.
you strung out and you messed up, if you hear the spirit talking to you, you got to follow that. You got to follow that inclination to do something different, and because it'll never lead you wrong. And I just think that that's a message that needs to be said. Sometimes we feel, not just black people, but in general, sometimes we feel discouraged, and we're asking ourselves, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right things? Am I going to the right places? And then we get these inclinations that tell us we should reach for something higher, we should do something different, but we block it out. And so
Yeah,
I'm saying,
we're asking for a sign, and when it comes, we ignore it.
yeah, it's like, oh no, not that. Send me a new one. Like
Yeah,
you,
that's not
not
clear
that.
enough.
Yeah, yeah. the letter that you just wrote out with my name on it wasn't clear enough. Could you
No,
spell it out in skywriting with an airplane?
could have been another one with the same name. Wasn't for me.
Right. Yeah, how do I know?
Hmm.
And so that's it, man. I just think that um, our our world has made being spiritually minded really corny,
True.
and you have to be like, it's like if you're not this real cornball square type person, and society thinks that you don't love God or that you don't love humanity or think about your bigger community. You know what I mean? And
True.
so it's like I wanted to say that. I want to let people know, man, it's cool to love your family. It's cool to love your community. It's cool to be open and prayer and meditation and all these things are things that's important.
Dope. Again, a great message behind it. So for those who still want to listen to the project just for the vibes, another reason to actually listen to the content. It's can I call it a self-empowering number? Yeah,
Yeah, I
self-empowering
would say
song.
that. I would say that. It,
Okay.
it's kind of funny because I wrote it and it was meant for not only black people but white people too, because I want them to. There's sometimes I've learned over the years, I've done like a lot of diversity and inclusion training
Hmm.
in my job, and so one thing I learned is sometimes questions surrounding race or different things like that can be difficult to ask because you don't want to have the perception that you're being racist or bigoted. And so some of
Yeah.
these things I try to just openly answer so that you can listen to it and say, okay, that makes sense. That
Yeah, and
okay,
that's what
I
makes it
can
relatable as well.
that. Exactly that. You know what he's saying it isn't much different than what I feel or what I think or how I grew up.
No,
And
it
when you
might
make
be
that
slightly
connection,
different than, well, no, not even. But yeah, the point of view, even though the title is towards a black man in this case, but you also say sisters, it's also
yeah,
relatable for any yeah, how do you say it? Any race. If you're Mexican,
yeah,
if you're my case Dutch, Indonesian, doesn't matter. The point of view is the
you're
same. That even though you will have hiccups in life,
yeah.
help yourself and help each other to do better or do right.
In fairness, I was even critical of blacks who aren't culturally minded towards other blacks. You know what I mean? And so I I'm a fair and balanced person, so that was important for me to say too. It's like, yo, there's some people who are within the culture. Andre 3000 said it the best. He said every person with dreads ain't down with the cause. Just because you look a certain way or you got a certain verbiage doesn't mean that you necessarily culturally adapt. And
No.
so I also say throughout the album several different ways about um, everybody being equal. You know,
Hmm.
God sees us all as equal, and how if we all stick together, then we never be alone. My point in this album was to start a conversation, um, not to change anybody's opinion, not to solve any problems, just to make you think about why do I feel the way I do? Why am I taking the path in life that I'm taking? Is it leading me to a higher cause, or am I just going through the motions? And so, really, the listener on this album gets a really in depth insight uh, on my thought process. The last time we interviewed, we talked about um, the song that I did called "My Prayers,"
Yeah.
and I mentioned, I had that beat for like okay. I had that beef for like
Everything okay?
couple. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We'll step just around here for just a second,
No
so she
worries.
can
By
take
the
care of
way,
the
we
baby.
got 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay, so yeah, man, it was. I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit, but man,
No,
I
my
just think it's
prayers.
a
You were talking
beautiful.
about my
Yeah,
prayers.
my first. Yeah, so I had this beef forever, man, and it took like I wrote like 10 songs to it, and usually it doesn't take me that long to write, but I knew it had to be right, and so I prayed about it. Literally, I prayed about it, and then I wrote the song and recorded it all within after having this instrumental for like a year or two, right? And so I just used that same process with this album, man. I went back to like square one, and I acted as if like I had never released any music, like I didn't have any fans, like no one knew anything about me. What did I want to say? What was my
Hmm.
message? What did I feel like was going to resonate? And I prayed about it. And I said, God, I just want to say what you want me to say. I wanted to reach people and inspire them. And statistically speaking, man, I had every reason to fail in life. Every reason. You know what I'm saying? Like from being incarcerated as a juvenile, growing up in a single parent home, educational issues, societal issues. I grew up in a gang infested neighborhood, which reminds me, I seen a documentary about gang members in Amsterdam. It blew my mind. I was like, there's
Yeah,
gang members? Like
yeah, they
Bloods and
are, man.
Crips? Like,
Hmm.
I was like, wow, like,
Yeah, it blew over from the States, well, at least to my belief. But yeah, it's going on here as well. And
absolutely.
now with the UK
Absolutely.
drill rap, it's getting worse. Now 10, 11-year-old boys walk around with shanks like this, and they stab first before they ask questions. And why? Because they're scared for their life, even though they shouldn't be. But their influence are coming from, not to knock the states, but either from the states or now from the UK. And yeah, it's getting just as bad as it is over there or in any other country now, man. But yeah,
And that's why they need to listen to a song like Rush to Grow Up. You know what I mean?
facts.
And that's
Nice
why I
segment.
made that song. You know what I mean? You say, what's that?
Nice
Nice
segment.
transition.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know,
yeah.
you know, I lost my first friend to violence at 14. I had my first kid at 16. And so, that's why I said in the hook, babies killing babies in a rush to grow up.
Hmm.
Babies having babies in a rush to grow up. We can't wait around hoping for a savior to come. It's strength in numbers. Our son's counting on us. And so, I talk about, I came from a decent home. I just chose to make other decisions. You know what I mean? And I was honest in that. And I think other people needed to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, it was so many rough families growing up that if you came from a decent home, you were almost kind of shunned. It was almost like, oh, you
Yeah,
can't
you,
relate
you
to
you
us.
got looked upon. Why, like,
Yeah,
why aren't you in the same situation as I am? Because,
yeah,
yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
right. It's like, oh, you can't relate to my struggle. You come from a two-parent home,
Yeah,
but
you were
I
raised with
want,
a silver spoon.
yeah, and I want my life to be uh, inspiring because out of all of those things, man, I still graduated from high school. I still graduated from college. I work with teens now. I'm active in my community. You know what I'm saying? Like I just left an event the other day with the mayor, the vice mayor, city councilman. I was just on a Zoom meeting with the judge, one of the judges from the city. And like that's big from where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like kids that are
Facts.
from where I'm from don't get to be in those circles. And so if I could do it, anybody can do it. And that's how I feel about it. And that's part of what um, this this album means to me. And I think the fact that my son being born today was kind of like you said, that cosmic icing on the cake. It's like, you know what, you done what you're supposed to do in life.
Yeah, you're on the right
So
direction.
yeah, definitely. So man, I hope everybody celebrates with me, man. I appreciate you. I don't know if I'm not sure about international calling, but I have a text number. This I know the U.S. code is what, one, and then
Uh,
the area.
plus 36 is for us.
Okay, well if you it's 316-477-3600. Like I guess plus 36 or whatever. And
Hmm.
then if they text that, they text IZ 316 to that, and then I can send them all my latest, music and videos and all that. That's the best
Nice.
way for me to stay in contact with me. Tickets, tickets to shows. I'm going to be doing a Zoom album release party, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna give you a shout out and tag you in that. Just kind of play the album and talk about each song in depth. Um,
Cool.
I think it's a great album, man. It's only 36 minutes. I think that I keep hearing from people like they they wanted to listen to it again. They want to listen, like, yo, I
Well,
played it,
yeah.
and then I had
So
to listen to it.
surprisingly, especially since there aren't, except for top down, aren't any features on it. It was, you was, how do you say it? You not skip through, but the 36 minutes went past
Yeah,
just like our conversation did, because it's a good bridge to that. We got a minute and a half left, and we talked for an hour. But it's the same thing with your
man, I
album.
appreciate it.
It just time flies, and it's not only because of the vibes. And I know it's becoming a, how do you say that, a broken record now. But
Right.
it's a vibe plus it's content wise which you can relate to and just sit back to and say, well, I'm not alone.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. So I look forward to hearing what everybody thinks, man. You can hit me up at IZ316. If you don't want to call, they can go to the website, which is IZ-316, and they can sign up for the mailing list and get the same information, whatever, if that's easier. But man, I look forward to hearing from you, man. If it's something that you like on the album that touches you, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. I want to hear. I'm very humble. I'm very accessible, and of course, those bills got to be paid. So you go to the website. I need you to go buy some merch. Get an IZ316 T-shirt or hoodie. When you wear a T-shirt or hoodie, you instantly become a part of a global family that's not afraid to speak up for what's right. A global family of people who really care about the world and want better. And so, man, it's a blessing to have you on this day. Thank you for sharing this experience with me, man. That I'll forever link this. You my brother. I'm coming to see you as soon
Congratulations,
as this
man.
cover is over. Thank you, brother.
Facts. Well, in that case, we're going to listen to Top Down. Again, I want to thank you for joining me for the second time in this case and include me in the special moment you had with the birth of your son. I couldn't
Thank you.
be happier to be part of that. I feel honored, and that's why I had a smile
Thank you.
from ear to ear. I was excited to be a part of
Man,
that.
we
And
international
we stay in
family now, man.
facts, and we're going to stay in contact. So, yeah, man. I'm
Yeah,
going to bring
absolutely.
in the song, and we will talk soon, fam.
All right, peace.
Peace, fam.